deep into the one. So that's just a normal cone spanner. It's a size 17. So a 17mm spanner probably would have done that. So this may or may not come off now. I can see a bearing. Oh. There we go. So it looks like it's fairly standard thing, that, which is good, because the threads may have gone in this. No, actually the threads look okay. I think it was the nut that was used. Oh, there might be a little bit of cross thread in there. Give that a quick wipe out. Now I don't know whether the bearing kit I've got includes the bearings for these. They are I can't see. I can't pull them out either. Right, found it. It's a 17287 bearing. I don't think we need to go for ZZ on these, because these bits aren't the bit that gets hot. I don't think there's anything wrong with these bearings either. They feel okay. Main reason being is when it's grumbling even when this isn't rattling. You'd hear it grumbling when it was freewheeling, and it's not. So I'm inclined to think that they're fine. They feel fine anyway. They're not specialists. They are just a normal 2RS. They're not a ZZ and they're not a C3 either. So there's a set on white bearings that I normally use. There you go. £6.66. I wouldn't even bother thinking about ceramic on these. They don't get a lot of use. You don't freewheel a lot, and you don't do it in the rain or anything, so there's no reason why they should get worn out unless you freewheel a lot. Right then, so next bit. I think we need to get these off, which is a small Allen key. It's either that one or it's not that one. Could be that one. I think it's this one. No, it's not that one. So I think that's a 2.5. Tell you for sure. The trouble is I can't see any of the writing on these. They've all got worn off, and it doesn't say on the shaft. So I will. It's either a 2 or a 2.5. I think it's a 2.5. It looks like a 2.5. It's 2.5. I was right. Now some of them they have a screw down there, or there might be a screw on the other side. I thought they had 3 screws. I've had these off before. My other one, the original one that I bought from Wahoo, I'm sure it had 2. That's interesting. There's a screw there. It doesn't appear to be attached to anything. That's interesting. There's a hole there as well. There's a tiny little posi drive on the other side holding this on. I'm interested in why there's a screw there. Doesn't appear to be attached to anything. Let's have a look at that. Waffle, waffle. Let's see if that's small enough. It is a very small screw. I'll leave that hanging in there. Not excessive amount of belt wear. A bit of crap in there. If it was really going, that would be absolutely full of crap. Band looks alright. So that's the tensioner. We just need to mark that now. So I need a pen that I can never find. Right, let's bring you in close here. So we've just got to make sure we get this tension the same as we had it before. Of course it doesn't want to write on here, does it? I did see somebody do something different, so if you put that to the top of there and just there, that'll do it. Sure we could get more scientific than that, but that'll do. Right, so we just need to knock that off now. That looks like a 4 or a 5. Right. Nope, it's a 4. Right, first time. Let's just take the pressure off. And that'll be why there's a slit there. So I'm just taking the tension off now. So that screws into there, pulls that tension wheel up. See if I can walk it off, a rib at a time. I'll give it a proper inspection. It doesn't want to come off. There we go. Alright, let's have a look. So we're looking for muck in between the ribs that would cause it to rumble. Looking for any breaks. Actually, this band looks okay. They're actually quite an expensive part of the kit. I think the band was £10 or £12. This one looks okay. It's quite worn on the back. Starting to see lines. So they generally either perish on the ridges there, or they start to go on the back. And if you compare it to, has it gone? To those. Let me get it out for you. So it's committed now. You can see there's no. You can see the webbing on that one. You can't really see it on that one. So I will probably change that bend out. Anyway, since we've got it. Right. That feels okay actually. There's a little bit of wear on it. It doesn't feel like it's graunchy or anything. Get that off now. Just realised I probably wasn't showing you that, was I? Right, back to the belt again then. So I was holding it up here and you needed to be over there, so yeah. Come on, focus. In focus now. Yeah, there we go. Finally got there. So you can see they look okay. They're not perished. But the back, on the other hand, you can see the webbing on it, so it's starting to go. If it was on a motorbike or a car, you'd change it. And if you look at that one, you can see, you can't see the webbing, you can just see the moulding from the rubber. Right, where were we? Right, we've got that off now. So that actually feels okay. I can't feel any play in it. It's not sloppy or anything. But that is you can see that is a metal bearing. And this is the 601Z. Indonesia, and it is an NSK bearing, so it's a fairly good bearing. Need the one of them for this. I might have to go up to the garage and rescue that. Basically that clip comes off, it looks like that comes off, and then you push the bearings out of the housing or pull them out. There'll be a spacer in between as well, probably, unless they are stacked. I'll work out which ones are which now. That's not helpful. 603. 601. I think it's the 601 we want. Now there'll be something in between, or it'll be machined. So that's the bearing that goes in there. And there's two of them. So that answers that question. The rest of them will be in there and in there, I'm guessing. Aha! That just comes straight off. Right, so that is, you can see that is a normal bearing, and that is a, oh, that's interesting. That looks like the 603. Yep, that's 603. The space has just dropped out. I'm guessing that's from that side. Yeah, need to be careful with that, because sometimes these might be shimmed as well. So there might be a shim in there. And it looks like it is just the bearing, so it's not shimmed. Might be shimmed there. No, not shimmed there. That sits in there. Yeah. So they normally shim them. I normally put shims on them to make sure they sit exactly, so you don't get your tolerances, but it must be just right, or they machine them to fit. So it feels okay, that bearing. I suspect the problem's going to be in there. Because that one feels alright as well. Right, so let's get that off. Guessing that's the number. Nope. So it's number 5, this one. So this is the bit, when I've seen it online, that sometimes this pulley doesn't always come off. Ah, right. That's interesting. So if you remember, the V4 had a recall, and the problem was there was something wrong with this pulley. Now that's only lightweight aluminium, and it looks like what they've done is they have inserted a sleeve in there, a metal sleeve. So they've put a hardened metal sleeve inside it. So I'm guessing what they've done is they've either drilled it out and shoved that in, or they've drilled it out and machined this down and put a bigger key in it. Because I think from what I memory, that was the problem. The keyway in that used to fail, and it used to spin on this shaft. And I think it's where people are putting too much power down, and it was ripping the key out of the aluminium. So they kind of put a reinforcing collar in there. So that was the rework, and this was a reworked one. I only paid about £490 for it when they were still retailing for over 1,000. Now, this is another part where it doesn't always come out. Don't like brain on it, but needs must. That's interesting. It's because that wasn't the right one. Right. Just want to offer some protection. I'm hitting it with a nylon mallet, but it is not budging. Wondering whether I let gravity help me out a bit here. Get ready to catch it. I think it is moving, just not as quickly as I'd like, or maybe not. I don't really want to hit it with anything heavier than that. Oops. More making a mess of my thing here than anything else. It is not coming out. Right, we'll have to give something a bit bigger then. Ah, that is going now. Yep, that's moving. That's it. She's out. Mangled my washer a bit there as well. I need to batter that flat on something. Right, this should come out now. There we go. Right, so the other, I can see there's a bit of a lip, that's why. So I think where they've machined it, or where the keyway is for the Woodruff key, there's a bit of a lip, and that's why it's not coming out. In fact, it looks like the bearing might have been spinning on that, so no, it doesn't. It's just that surface there does look a bit chewed up. There's a wave washer there, don't lose that. Alright. Might have to go and get a puller. Back. So I'll be honest, I'm a bit PO'd about this. I was going to buy a small puller, because I've seen people having trouble getting off the bottom of there. You've got to make sure you keep that clean and don't damage that, by the way, because that's the speed sensor. So if the speed sensor goes wrong, it's that area there. Just battered them out as well. Yeah, I was going to buy a small puller and I was convinced I'd got one, but then it turns out I'd only got a massive one. And the thing I was thinking about was in the slide hammer puller, which this isn't. So I think I'm going to have to invest in a small puller, either a 3 or a 2 finger puller. So I'm gutted I didn't order it when I was going to order it. I thought, no, I don't need any more tools, I'm sure I've got one, because I was looking for a really tiny one. So I think this might be a bit of overkill, unfortunately, but we'll see how we go. I mean, it shouldn't take much to shift it, it's only a little lip. But the problem is this is designed for generally bigger bearings. Yeah, I know I could put I think the thread's big enough to take this coming down. And like I said, I don't think we're going to put a lot of pressure on this, to be honest. There you go, we're nearly there now. So it looks like a 15, I would guess. Let's see if I'm right. a 16, a 15, no, 17. 17. I've got my calibrated glasses on. That's it, it's past the ridge now. Keeping hold of this because I don't want it to fall over and damage that. I'm terrified of anything damaging that, to be honest. In fact, let's get my greasy paw prints off because I don't think it takes much to destabilise it. I saw one bloke get his puller in and he got his puller a bit too close and he caught the white one. Right, that feels very stiff, that bearing. Can't feel any noise though, weirdly, but it is definitely stiff. Again, it's an NSK bearing, so it's a good quality bearing. It's a DU, whatever that means, so it's a Japanese bearing. It does look like there's a little bit of rust or heat on that side, which is interesting. So I think that bearing's been snagging and spinning on the shaft. There's certainly signs on the inside that it's possibly been spinning on the shaft as well. So we're going to have to be careful with that. We might need to put some bond on it if it carries on doing it. But that was definitely stiff. What we haven't done is knocked that one out. So I'm just going to do I could have brought the slide hammer down for this, but I've got good access. I'm not expecting it to be any problems. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, it's coming out. There we go. Oh, this one looks even worse. There's definitely signs of rust on there. Doesn't feel bad though, but it doesn't feel smooth, and it is stiff again. As the more I move it, the smoother it's getting. I can maybe feel something on there. See, the problem is with a lot of these turbos is they get used in garages and they get hot, the bearings get hot. Again, it's a rubber seal, that, it's not a metal seal like that. And they heat up, it does get hot, this flywheel gets hot. So the grease has a tendency to run out, and then there's nothing grease in the bearings, and the bearings wear. So you don't get the usual effect on your bearings, but they do not feel right. So it could have been the grease has got cooked. So, well, we shall see. Let's pop a set of bearings in this while we're here. I'm going to hoping that ridge has come off now, but it definitely feels like it's chewed into that. I can definitely feel there's the bearing has possibly seized. So I'm wondering whether somebody else has swapped the bearings out on this and not put metal ones in. And it's been spinning, but no, that's the wrong size bearing, that's the little bearing. We want the big bearing. We want the 603s, that's the one we want. Oh, and I still forgot to bring the pinch down for that. I might wing it and just ping it over everywhere. Right. Oh, see, they feel completely different. They feel smooth. Right. So we're going to have to knock it past that ridge, because that ridge is still there. So let's find something that... Don't know if that goes far enough. It'll get it. Like I say, I'll get it started. It won't go much further than that though. As long as it stays on that inner race, you need to press the inner race. So as soon as you start pressing the outer race, you'll damage the bearings. So you've always got to press the inner race. Fortunately, it's not gone all the way down. So let's try a spark plug socket because I think they're a bit deeper. No. Probably would if it wasn't on the way. Have we got a tube? Right, I might have to resort to something. Oh, I'll tell you what I have got. We got some tube. Oh, yeah. There's a couple of options here. Nope, not about that. Aha, that's what we want. Right, now what we can do is stick something bigger on that. There we go. She's down. And she's on the spring washer. Right, good. Good. So all we need to do now is just check that that's clean. Yep, that's clean. And get the other big bearing out, or another big bearing. Right, probably going to lube the outside of this one up a little bit. Can't believe, how has that managed to do that? I've got a pot of copper slip and it's in an old pill case and the lid's come off it. You know, if you've seen me on the channel with this before, it's sentimental value, that's why I'm not using the new one. But somewhere or other the lid's come off and this has managed to get inside it. How on earth do you even do that? I don't even know where the lid is. It's quickly descending into a... We will find that later. Put that down there. Right. Just put a bit of red grease on and smear it around just to help it on its way in life. Right. So I can use a few things to put this in, but I'm hoping it'll just go in. Right, let's use the old bearing trick. Ouch, that's fingers. I think that is in. Yeah, made a different noise. Always use the old bearing trick. Right, so we should be able to just sling this in now. Again, don't get mess on there. These are big magnets as well, so just in case they want to grab it. In fact, tell you what we'll do before we go any further. Stick a little bit of snot in there as well, just to help it on its way. Do you want to see what's in one of them? So there's huge great magnets, as opposed to lots and lots of little magnets that the Tax has. So I think they're a lot easier to dissipate the heat in those big things. Right. Right, I'm working out the best way to knock that in. I think gravity is probably going to be my friend with this. So let's declutter the bench to a certain extent and stick this over. All right. It's not ideal because it's potentially that's pressing on the bearing, but it has gone through a lot further. I think we're going to have to I think we're going to have to pull it, and I suspect that's how somebody's done it in the past, and that's why these are bent. So it could be somebody has been in here before. So I think what we'll do is shove that on. Stick the bolt in, and we'll try and draw it through. Not far enough. That's irritating. I don't think I've got a bigger one of them either. Might have to give it a bit more welly still. Can't think of anything else I can use, to be honest. I mean, it's not the best thing in the world hitting it like this, but to be honest, it's going across both of them, so I might just be able to rock it in. Sometimes you can rock it in. Can't get that middle. Have we got anything for removing that middle cap? By any chance? It's funny because that middle cap fell out the other day. So I think somebody has been in there. I think these bearings may have been done before in the past. Because that cap's definitely had somebody in there with a thing picking it out. So that's it, it's gone. Just heard it. That didn't take a great deal actually. So that sounds a whole lot better. Right, so let's stick that on there. In fact, let's do it the proper way. That's it. Right, now it should fit. I think they also had a problem with these backing out as well, but I didn't see any liquid thread lock on it either, weirdly. That's it. There's a little bit of movement on that. So it's not machined perfect. It just sounds a lot better now. Yeah, it seems spinning better too. Right then, are we going to do these? See, they feel all right. I think it was those bearings. These bearings here were stiff. So I'm tempted to just chuck these in. Because these are, if it doesn't work, these are fairly easy to get to. You just pop that off, and the same with that. That's easy to get to as well. I can't see the point in knocking these bearings out just for the sake of it. But having said that, though, these are the same as the other ones, so it might be worth knocking them out. What do you think? Should we at least do these? And then we can leave that. Because I mean that feels smooth enough, that. I mean these feel good, but we've got the kit, we might as well use it. It's the same method again. come out. Haven't checked to see if there's a clip holding them in. I might be just banging them onto, yeah, I'm just banging them onto the table. That's not going to work like that, you muppet. Could just draw them out, to be honest. Yeah, these are they're gonna fall out. Yep, there we go. Oh, thought it had fallen out, it hasn't. It has now. Yep. I'm going to have that problem with this one. Just knock it out. Actually, that was stiffer than the other one. There you go. Just check them. Jury's out on that one. That feels okay. A bit stiff again, but not bad. There's a keyway in that. Wonder why it needed a keyway. Who knows? Right, other bearings. Let's start stacking up some of the empty boxes. Is that a little bearing or a big bearing? No, that's a big bearing. That's a big bearing. That's a little bearing. That's a little bearing. You're still with me? Yep. Right. So, which is going to be the easiest one to drive in? I'm guessing there was a spacer in between all that lot. Yep, don't lose that. Won't be the first time I've put one in and forgot to put the spacer in. Yes, normally I would use oil for this, but what I don't want is oil getting flung everywhere afterwards. One, because the wife will kill me, and two, because some of this stuff you just don't want to get oil on it anyway. Especially as it gets hot, it's going to be a little bit smelly. Right. Actually, I probably could draw these in using the drawer, but I forgot I got that. Could have knocked it out with that. Duh. No, outer this time because we're driving in, aren't we? Outer one this time. No, old bearing. I've chucked them in the bin already. You hear the note change, so you know it's in. Right, don't forget that, or it will all end in tears. Save that again. And this time I'll grease the bearing. Now I might use me gauge on this one actually. So I do have, because that one was a bit tight. So I do have somewhere in here. Oh, I thought I had. See, I thought I had this the other day and I couldn't find it. Is it in here? I've got that. Some of you will remember that already. Let's see. Oh, where the flipping heck's that gone? Is it in here? I pulled something out the other day and it was there and I was like, well, I was looking for that. So I've got a set of bearing pullers. Oh, here it is. But I can't get out of the box. Right. So what are we looking for? We are looking for something that sits on the outside of that. Yay! Right, that'll do. So we need something that sits on the outside of that, and then we need something that will sit on the outside of that on there. And we're going to get that out of here, and we're going to make a combination of the two. So we're getting an awful lot of stuff. In fact, I've probably got a... I thought I might have had one, but perhaps not. No. That's what I'm looking for, something that goes on the other side like that. I thought we'd got one with a tiny inner, but looks like we haven't. No, they're all too small. So what we'll do, I bet that's the same thread as that as well, isn't it? There it is. Now right, so that's going to sit on there like that. We're going to stick, not that one, I don't believe we've not got one that fits that. How silly is that? Right, good to use the washers. We're not going to. Three million years later, right, so we just need to make sure that that is on the edge of that, and that's on the edge of that, and then we just need to tighten it up. And hopefully we don't need a spangler. Let me just bin that off. Try and find my missing. That's there. No. Next one up. No, you're an 8. Can I never find the one I'm after? No, you're a 10. You're an 8. You're the one I'm looking for. You're the one that I want. You are the one I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No such luck. Right, spanner. But we ain't got one of those without going digging in the spanner roll. Oh, this is starting to irritate me now. I did have a roll of spanners in here, but they appear to have disappeared. Oh no, here we go. They were in there. Right, let's adopt even more. So I think it's I'm pretty sure it's a 10. No, it's a half. It's a 12 or a 13. Guarantee it's a 13 because I've just pulled out the 12. Yep. Half inch. $15. Guess which one we haven't got? $14. $13. Don't know why it says 15 on the other side. That's just irritating. Right, let's try and get this lined up again now. That's it, I think it's going in. It's not going in evenly though. Yeah, this one. This cup on this side is not staying even, and if it doesn't go in flat, it's going to end up mullering it, and we don't want that. So let me try and find an alternative. I think there is one in here. Certainly a bigger ring to go at. So I'm not even sure that's... So the trouble is with most of these are they not quite the right size. That might be a little bit of a better fit, because it can't disappear as much. Right. I'm going to twist this side in this time rather than twisting the other one. This was supposed to be the easy bit. Oh, we're back again, are we? Right. Right, so we got that in. We had to use the other bearing. Sorry, I didn't see that it had a bit of a meltdown. Right, so this now fits on here, but you've just got to make sure that inner sleeve's where it's supposed to be. That sounds good. Right, so stick some grease in there. Let me just have a quick tidy up first, because otherwise it's going to all end in tears. And I know I get a few comments about how untidy my workstation is. Fair comment. Right, what have we done with that? Where's that gone? Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. We appear to have lost the bolt, because that's always good. Right, don't need them anymore. We can go over there. How have I managed to lose the bolt? Ah, what's that? The bolt. Right, so you can get back in there. You can disappear back in the kit. So that's the bottom bracket pulling kit I was using there, in case you've not seen it before. You will see that from time to time. I need to find a better box for it because that's just not doing it. I'll stick that on it this time so I don't end up losing it. Right. Just clear some rubbish out of the way. Right. I'm going to put my grease down. Still not found that lid off that. That's going to irritate me for a long time. Oh, it is. Let's put that on before we have any more greasidents. Right. Alright, so I've just chucked a bit of grease in there. So that's got something to bind onto. Now somebody will tell me there's a really clever way of doing this, but do you know what? I can't be arsed. There you go. Once you get the that seems legit. Can't see any issues there. Right. Question is, did the other piece go in with it? But it did after all that. Yes, it did. It's there. Bugger. Now I've got to put this back in again. Oh, look at that, straight in. Right. So now we put this on. Right, last bit. Where's the fat one? The fat one's there. And the fat one's there. Line the fat one up. Shove it on. Job's a good one. Right, need to be careful with this. We've had a few near misses and near incidents with this. Hence why we're on actually our second nut, our second fastener. So we've had issues with it not sitting right. Oh, come on. That's it. Because normally you'd put the wheel on you'd have the wheel the other way up. So what you're looking for is it's just bitten in. All right. Grab. Do it properly. Probably not going to torque this up to its full torque because it's on a turbo. It doesn't really need it. And two, because I really don't want to put the threads under any more stress because I don't have to buy a freewheel. But now I've seen what sort of freewheel it is. I know they're not that expensive, so it's less of an issue. I'd just rather not have to. Kind of waiting for the Zwift hub to come out. I'm not going to risk any further than that. That's probably about 30. I heard it click. All right. Now, one of my theories was as to why this wasn't running very well was because the belt might have had a kink in it because it had been sat there for a long time. Matt did say he hadn't been using it for a while. So I did wonder whether, now is there a direction? Sometimes there's a direction of travel for these. Anti-static oil and heat resistant. Yeah, that sounds like what we want. I did wonder whether it had just been sat there for a while and it had got a kink in it, you know, around this bit. You know, there's like a kink that there is there because it'd been round that, and it had just got a kink in it. But no, the bout looks okay, to be honest. So let's back that right off. Pull that up. Right, I think this is it. I feel like I've forgotten to put something in. I haven't really got a bite to test it on either. But you should be able to, I'll be able to spin it and tell the difference because it was noisy when you were just spinning it. Right, so just snug that up so it's not going to rack over when I try to tension it. And then we're just going to bring it up to tension. Now I would normally tension these so they're at 45 degrees, but I think that's, I don't think that's going to cut it. So, but what you don't want is that it's so tight that it knackers your bearings. So I would say that's tight enough. Nowhere near what it was. So I'm wondering whether somebody had been and put bearings in this and over tightened it. I can just about, I can see it's a mile off because I can just about see the mark I made on it, and if I put this in, you'll see that this needs to come up quite a long way still. So I'll put a little bit more on, but I'm not going to put much more on. I think if you put any more on than that, it's not gonna slip that, which is all you're bothered about. So I'm gonna leave that. I'm of the opinion that's been over tensioned. Now what's interesting is that that's making a right old row. So I suspect that's not what it should be. No, it was the plastic case that was rubbing against it. That still sounds a bit noisy, so I wonder whether it is them bearings there. No, it's definitely a bit quieter, that. Right, we'll put it all together and then we will test it on probably on my wife's bike, because she's the one that uses this one now. And then what I'll do is I'll swap it over. Right, we'll quickly put this case on because I'm getting pinged to tell me my tea's ready, and I will get shouted at. Yep, it's pinging on everything now. So let us quickly put this in, then we can wrap up and I'll get myself out of bother and close it up at the same time. So let's just screw that in there. I think I had some problems with mine actually when it was full of dog fluff. When I took the cover off and put it back on, it was catching and grinding. So I think I had to screw it up with that kind of shoved across to make sure it ended up in the right place. Or it had not clipped in properly. That's fine now. Right, just quickly do this one up and then we'll call it a day. That does sound better. It's a bit quieter now I've got the cover on. Right, so I will probably record a No, that seems all right now. Actually, that's a lot quieter. So I think we've cracked it. So that's it. That's what you need. So the only ones we haven't replaced are the pulley bearings. So bear that in mind. You might not need to buy the pulley bearings. I'm pretty sure that they're a standard wheel bearing anyway. So we will be using those again, I'm sure. Anyway, but that's it. Job's a good one. I will drop the part numbers in the text. I might put some links to where I got them from, but I think that's good to go now. So hit there. Please like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you £1 to do it, a penny to do it. Just hit that like and subscribe button. It will help the channel. We are starting to build up some followers now and stuff like that, so really good. And the more I get, then the more videos I'll make. If it's not interesting, I'll start scaling back the videos again, but I enjoy this. I've got an endless, as you'll see, I've got an endless supply of bikes and different bikes coming in all the time. It wasn't supposed to be a channel for fixing bikes, but that's what it's ended up. I still will do machines and stuff, but anyway, right, I need to close or I'm going to get shouted at. Job's a good one. Have fun. Hope that was interesting. Interesting. Where did that come from? Right, lad, stay there. Yeah, I'm back again. I couldn't resist. So I've just had my tea. Let's see if it's any better. Bear in mind, this is my wife's bike, not my bike. And we'll put this down here so you can hear it. Yeah, that's cracked it. That's about where it should be now, nice and quiet. It sounded like a chinook before. Bear in mind, I've got it straight on the floor as well. That's exactly what it should be hearing. It was really loud before, it was like... Brilliant that. Quite happy with that. Job's a good one. Now we've done